Hi, I'm Todd McDonald from ATW Training Solutions. As leaders, we're being faced with massive change in our organizations, industry, and lives. Managing and leading employees is tough enough, and now some of us are having to do it virtually. Together we can get through this, and we want to help. We would like to offer a few tips for leading a productive virtual workforce. We urge you to share this video with other leaders inside or outside your organization. No strings attached, we just hope that it helps you. This is a time when we all need to come together. So let's dive in. 10 tips, 5 minutes, start the clock. Our first tip is crucial because it sets the foundation. When leading a virtual workforce, everything starts with trust. While it is said that trust is earned, when moving to a virtual environment, especially in a rapid manner, you may not have that option. As a leader, you're going to need to trust your people until they do something to break that trust. Fight the urge to reach out every hour to see if your team member is working or what they're working on. One way to help your anxiety in doing this is our second tip. Set guidelines for working virtually. It's important that you set guidelines with your team. Are you going to allow flex hours or do you have core hours? What's your policy on communication response time? Or it could be as simple as when engaging in a virtual meeting that the webcams are on. We know that actually seeing each other can build connections virtually. Our next tip is to help your employees prepare to be productive. Do people have the technology needed or access to it? Are they working off a laptop or did you send a tower and monitor home with them to use? Do they have a headset for longer calls? And what about software? Do they know how to use software like Microsoft Teams, Zoom, or WebEx, or any of the other tools that are available to communicate and collaborate? As a leader, make sure that everyone has equal access and is trained to make their new work environment productive. Tip number 4 is establish performance expectations. Having employees working virtually doesn't mean you shouldn't clearly communicate expectations. Be sure to establish and communicate outcomes maybe on a daily, weekly, or even monthly basis. The clearer your expectations, the more productive your team member will be. Remember, you can't hold someone accountable for what they don't know is expected of them. Tip number 5 might help you do this. Use a project management system of some type. And counting emails going back and forth doesn't count. Set up a Gantt chart in Excel or use Microsoft Project or come up with your own system. The key is to have one. If you set clear expectations and engage a tool to manage progress, you'll be able to effectively engage your team member and hold them accountable. Working remotely doesn't give anyone a pass. Just because you can't sit down face-to-face, you still need to hold your team members accountable for results. Provide feedback to individuals by sharing the situation, the behaviors you're witnessing, and the impact or lack of impact. And don't forget to ask what you can do to help them and really listen. Our next tip is one that we use here at ATW and it works well. Use technology to have daily or at least weekly huddles with your entire team. Software and applications like Zoom, Microsoft Teams, or WebEx where you can gather everyone are great, especially if you can get everyone to be sharing their webcams so others can see them. Use these huddles to share information, celebrate wins, and move projects forward. Be sure to create and use common meeting guidelines to keep on track though. You'll need to be careful not to let the meeting go down a path where individuals are wasting group time with individual needs. Now the next step is a fun one. The next tip, tip number 7, uses the same approach but goes down a different path. Get social. You can use the same technology as we just discussed for your team huddles, but make them social. Tell everyone to grab their lunch and be online at a certain time and have lunch together while reconnecting. You might even schedule a virtual coffee break with team members. Tip number 8, make yourself available. Sometimes the thing that your employees need the most is you. They need time with you to discuss issues, vet ideas, brainstorm together. Be sure to set aside time and communicate your availability to support them. Tip number 9 is connect the dots corporately. Now, depending upon the size of your organization, it may be important to share how what your team is doing impacts organizational goals. Working virtually can sometimes cause team members to feel disconnected. It's important that you be the link back to organizational objectives. And our final tip, because it looks like I'm about out of time, and probably the most important one of all, take care of yourself. If you don't take care of yourself, you won't be able to take care of others. Consider one of the many meditation or mindfulness apps that are available. Exercise, balance your work and home. Do whatever it takes to take care of yourself first so you can serve others. I don't want you to think that you can learn everything about leading virtual teams in 5 minutes, but hopefully some of these tips will help you manage and lead in this new virtual world we are in, no matter how long it lasts.